If you enjoy old games, if you like playing old games, if you're focused on old games, if you collect old games, then your weekend starts here.
I think I love Retrogames.
This week on the Retrogames Show, we discover the pioneers of virtual reality. And Jace finally agrees to clean up the Retrogames warehouse.
I think I love Retrogames.
Yeah, hello, yes, it is me, it is Jace at Retrogames, and welcome to another show. Check the cameras. Yes, the cameras are working. Hello, how you doing? Yes, your weekend is complete. I am here to talk about old video games, maybe maybe just reminiscing about being a kid in the 70s and 80s, because that's what we're all thinking about, aren't we? We're like seeing something that you remember from a kid and you get that spark. Oh, I remember that. And it just feels like a drug, isn't it? Isn't it like drugs? When you see something you haven't seen for 30, 40 years, and then you see it again, and I think it just ignites some, it probably reconnects some synapses in your brain. It gives us a bit of a buzz, like a little mini electric shock. There will be a chemical equation that describes retro gaming. Yeah, it's the remembering of old facts and old things, and just just manages to stir up some really old memories. Because our heads, you know, down the back of your head, there's loads of old memories that you've forgotten. I'm just trying to pull them out. I'm like a fisherman. I'm trying to reel them in for you. Some old memories. What's he on about? What we done this week? Well, a couple of things I wanted to talk about this week. I had a couple of interesting emails. The first one was from a guy, Matt. I think it was Matt. And he said, I found this. I'm a collector of classic video game magazines and paraphernalia and ephemera. Yeah, get me. Ephemera. And I recently purchased this. Bing! Yes, issue 1 of the Retrogames magazine is out there. It is in the wild. This is a proper issue 1, handmade by me, written by me, way back in '95. And he says, is it worth anything? Of course it is, it's priceless. No, I mean, we sold quite a lot. We sold maybe 4 or 5, maybe, we did a little bit of a reissue, so maybe 600 copies of that first issue. So it's very rare compared to a video game. And I guess a lot of them ended up in the bin. I know, they ended up in the bin. Who's going to keep hold of that? It's a photocopied magazine. So anyway, yeah, very nice find. I'm glad it's gone to your collection, and we'll be there for prosperity. Let's hope. Another interesting thing this week, and that was a sequel to a game that we'd all forgotten about, and that was a sequel to Flashback. Check this out. Yes, recently announced this week, a proper sequel to Flashback. And isn't the perspective of that game amazing? I really like the look of it. It does. I love the fact that you can see a bit like Mission Impossible, the Epix game that we keep showing, the Commodore 64, where you can see everything, but in that kind of like pushed perspective. I don't know. It grabbed me. I did love Flashback. Flashback was the kind of pseudo sequel to Another World. Classic Amiga games. And at the time, the best animation that you could find up there. You know, French animation, Delphine. It was fantastic. And it looks like it's going to be a good sequel. We'll find out. But, you know, sometimes, I mean, there's so many retro revivals or sequels, and not often a gap of 30 years between releases. But, yeah, I thought that was pretty exciting looking. Comment, please. I know what you're thinking. Yeah, shut up, Jace. Where's the sheet? I got the sheets. Oh, you ready? Runners and riders, It's always this side. It's that side. I always knew. I always knew. Bing. Yes, there we go. It's 26 again. That is the same as last week. So what should we do? Yeah! Record breakers! I think we can do it when there's 26. I know it's the same number. But I think we can do it when it's the same number. We can obviously, when it goes above, we can use the old record breakers. The thing is though, you know, why worry about it? I mean, Record Breakers, it was just that annoying show, wasn't it? Annoying show. Oh, it's Thursday. It's Record Breakers Day. Oh, no, I hate Record Breakers. I want to watch Grange Hill. It was a dull programme, wasn't it? I'm sorry, Roy. I'm sorry, Roy. It was the memory of Roy. I'm sorry. It was a bit dull, Record Breakers, but we all used to watch it because there was nothing else to do. Okay, let's start. Now I'm going to give you a little bit of sad news when I start because I've actually done this already once. The whole sheet. I've been through everything. It was hilarious. And then the memory card, I didn't look up to see that the memory card, the thing that catches the sound, the memory card was full up. It hadn't recorded a single thing. So I am doing this for a second time. The first time was hilarious. Now it's not going to be so spontaneous and fun. It's your Saturday, mate. Turn it off. No, it will still be good. I'm still good. I've practiced. It means I've done a dress rehearsal. This time will be funnier. Number 1, Justin Wormleyton. Yes, now he talks about nodes on the Commodore 64. Because last week we covered Nodes of Yesod. That was a fantastic game for the Spectrum. We all thought it was Normal Games by Odin. Yeah, it was a really brilliant game. He says, but what about on the N64? That's an idea for you guys. For the Commodore 64, what a brilliant game it was on there. A brilliant theme tune. Let's check it out. Yes, Nodes of Yesod. Yeah, really good. He also mentions he liked the U-Force. That's the strange device for the NES, which we showed last week, which you control with your hands, just with your hands. A very strange thing. He says, am I just imagining the Power Glove? No, Justin. You're not imagining it. That is another bizarre NES controller. It is a glove. Ting. It's a glove that you put on. It's got some controls there. You do some grip motion. It's another awful controller, but fascinating. It looks like it's off of a 1980s robot. It looks like an awesome, you know, like, oh, beam me up, Scotty, kind of thing. But very collectible in its own right, but it was a useless controller. But yeah, an amazing. It definitely deserves a nice shelf in your collection if you've got one. And it looks good without being in the box as well. It's not saying you want to keep it in the box. Boring. Finally, he says he really likes the girl on last week's show. Oh yeah. He says, is she single? I don't know. Let's ask her.
Oh, Justin, what a thing to ask. You are so naughty. Oh, you'll have to send me your phone number. Maybe we can arrange something. Oh, Justin.
I'm worried about this now. This is getting tricky. Justin, because I think you're married. And if your wife sees this, you are going to be in big trouble.
Who is this, Justin? Who you think you are talking to my wife? I tell you what, mate, you talk to her one more time, I'm going to come round your house and I'm going to smash your lights in.
Big trouble. To Chaniath. He's back. Chaniath. He says, it's true, he says his Game Gear still works. Yeah, there's another one. He's had it since new. He's had it since it came out and it still works. Yes, brilliant. It wasn't, because last week we showed one of the last ever remaining fully working unmodified Game Gears. He says it still works, but the screen's a bit washed out. That's just the Game Gear. Game Gear and its washed out screen. We put up with anything back then, didn't we? In the mid 80s, we were happy with a washed out screen. It's like someone spilled milk over it, you know. And the thing about the Game Gear is you have to hold it in exactly the right place to get decent focus anyway. I think even if that was brand new in the shop, just come out, it's still going to think, oh, this screen's a bit washed out. Lynx is similar. Yeah, I just think that is what the consoles... We put up with anything back then. That's as good as we got. Cheap old rubbish screens they used in the Game Gear. That's probably why they always go wrong. Yeah, poor parts. But anyway, there is an argument for the modified Game Gears with their new screens. Yeah, it's a good idea. Number 3, Jabable Rob. He says he has learned to love Intellivision controllers. You'd have to, wouldn't you? Same with ColecoVision. Very strange, weird controllers with discs. You have to control. Very odd. If that's the console you had to learn to love it, and that's what Bob Lee Roberts did. He really liked the U-Force controller too. Yeah, bit of that. Ooh, it's like I'm doing a magic trick. Ooh, no, I'm playing a game, Mum. Ooh. Anyway, he said, what about the Chainsaw GameCube controller? Now that's got to be the best controller ever. It is amazing. It is an amazing controller. But tell me this: has anybody actually used it to play a game, or have you just kept it in its lavish cardboard display case? It is a lovely thing. It's a beautiful collectible. It's amazing. It's a lovely thing. Came out for a few of them. GameCube. I think there's another one. A PlayStation. I think it came out. Did you get a PlayStation Chainsaw controller? I think you did. But nobody ever used that to play the game, did they? There's no point. It's huge. What are you going to have it on your lap? I don't know. Weird. But nice thing. Nice thing. Number 4, TJ. He's new. He's new. Welcome on board, TJ. He says he bought Nodes of Yesod purely based on the box art. He's right, isn't he? I mean, we covered this a bit. Old games, like tricking us, hoodwinking us into buying their shoddy games because they've got a lavish art on the front of the box. Well, to him, he won this time. He won. He got Nodes. He had that evocative kind of spaceman on the front. He's like in some mystery. Nodes of Yesod. Weird name. Always thinking, what's Yesod backwards? Yes. Yeah. Doesn't make any sense. Nodes. And it's not a maths lesson. It's not a maths lesson. It is a weird looking thing, but it does look like an ultimate game that maybe swayed you a little bit when you was in the shop looking at that thinking, oh, I'll buy this. I'll buy this. Anyway, he loved it. He won. He bought a game based on the artwork, and he won. Yes. You wish he'd kept it though. Yeah. There's so many things we'd all say that. Oh, I wish I'd kept that. Number 5, Shazza. I delivered this story beautifully the first take. Let's hope I can do it again. This is a lovely story. Shazza he's in the show every week now. He's given us some lovely content. Thank you, Shazza. And this week is a beautiful story. Cue the story music. Let's go. My parents had rules about how often I could play my Spectrum and for how long. They were open to constructive arguments though, so having bought Master Chess by Mastertronic, every time I would ask my parents if I could play the Spectrum, I always told them I was going to play that chess game and learn how to play properly. This worked brilliantly for months. But then, my school decided to hold a chess tournament and my parents made me enter. I came last, but it was worth the humiliation and being beaten by such much younger kids just to be able to play my beloved Spectrum almost every evening. Yes! I love that story. Brilliant. Tricking your parents. If anyone else has got any stories about it, I mean, you could do that with anything. GCSE Maths by Rose Software. Play that. Oh yeah, I'm going to play the Spectrum all night, but I'm going to be doing this geography homework on my Spectrum. Parents fall for that. Parents, he's using a computer to learn. Oh, we must commend him for this. We must encourage it. Go on, you go and play on your Spectrum, son. Yeah, that's okay. You carry on. You carry on. You're up there. Yeah. Anyway, that looked rude. I'm sorry about that. Apologies. Carrying on, number 6. Nath is back. Nath Retro. He said he's missed the last few episodes, but he's going to go and try and catch up. Just watch the Easter special. That was the big one. Watch the Easter special, Nath. That was a lot of work in that one. And it was a bit rude. We liked it. Number 7, PJ Venom, our old mate. Now, I mucked up. Last week I made a bit of a muck up when I was doing the reading of the numbers. You're probably looking at the side of the screen saying, Jace, you're reading the wrong person. You're reading. Yes, I made a couple of mistakes. Get over yourselves. Pressure. I should be wearing glasses. Really, I should be wearing my glasses, but I'm too vain. Anyway, he says, this is not from last week, it's the week before, and he's going back to playground rumours. Yes, he's given us a few already. Good old PJ. He says, what about this? It's a classic playground rumour. And it's to do with Tomb Raider, the first one on the PlayStation. He said the rumour was in the playground that if you completed certain tasks and put certain things in certain chests, Lara Croft would then be naked. Or possibly just topless. It was a legendary myth. We all wanted to see Lara's nipples. But it's absolutely untrue. There is no way. I can remember this. It was even in all the games magazines. Holding the controller, pushing down 6 buttons at the right time, standing on this rock, looking at the sun, doing that. You would end up with a naked... It was all baloney. That's for Beesball. It was all baloney. None of that stuff worked. It was not possible to make her naked. But, of course, all the modders, all the artists out there, it wasn't long before we got loads of pictures of Lara naked. Let's check them out.
I think I love retro games. I think I love retro games.
Yeah. Tasteful Lara in the nutty. The thing about Lara, yes, she is beautiful, but she's a bit blocky. She is a bit blocky. I like them blocky. I'm a retro gamer. I like blocky girls. I've got a blocky girlfriend, thank you very much. Actually, you make a good point. We're retro gamers. We like blocky ladies. I think it's time for some blocky wives. Yeah, blocky wives. Retro Gamer's perfect partner is a blocky wife. It's a new thing. It's a new thing, blocky wives. We might be coming back. Nice. Anyway, moving on. Number 8, solar. Used to be solar observation, but it's just solar now. Just solar. Solar for short. It's funny you mentioned Paper Mario again, because for the last 2 weeks I've been playing it on the N64 and absolutely loving it. The music and the story are both great. Okay, well we'll come back to that, but as I explained at length last week, I did show a little bit of a video of a 1000-Year Door on the GameCube, and I did a bit of voiceover just explaining, well, not explaining, just showing you how incredibly dull the game was. And there's a bit of backlash. There's a bit of people love the Paper Mario. I'm not changing my mind. Anyway, he says he wants us to do some voting. He said, wouldn't it be good if we did some voting? Use that little vote box on the community tab on the channel. Do some voting. Maybe make a chart or something, and we can go through a chart. And his idea was, what about the best gaming soundtrack? And I think you've got to go, right, okay, best gaming theme. I did cover that in one of the other shows. I did my top games shows, themes. Talk English, Jace. Anyway, he said, well, we could all vote. And I think you've got to go 16-bit or down. So 16-bit, 8-bit. We can't go on to 32-bit or like CD soundtracks. Let's just go for chip sounds, really, chip tunes. Yeah, Amiga kind of Commodore 64 era, Spectrum, maybe Spectrum being there. Your top soundtracks. Now, to do this, we're going to need nominees for you to vote on. For me to put together a poll, I need you to nominate. So maybe next week, if you're commenting, just put your nomination of your favourite retro game theme in there, and then we'll start building a list. And then when we've got enough, we'll do a poll. And then once I've collated all that, we'll then be able to make a chart. What do you think? Does it still sound like a good idea, Solar, or is it a little bit too much hard work? We'll see. We'll see if people get involved. I like it. I like charts anyway. Anyway, moving on. Number 9 is our old mate Vladimir. Vladimir from the Ukraine. You might remember we've mentioned him before. He's commented on the show. Thank you, Vlad. Welcome on board. I know I'm speaking on behalf of the whole club. We wish you and your family all the best over there. We can only imagine. And it's amazing that you're getting involved in our humble show. You know, and our thoughts are all with you. Now, he comments on, this is funny. Because obviously in the Ukraine, they've got different media, different TV, different everything. And he says, after watching the show last week, he understands now the image of Fireman Sam on clothes is so popular. And now he finally understands why. He understands why. He understands why Fireman Sam is now so popular. Because last week we showed the Amstrad CPC version on alternative software. And he's still unaware. Until I finish this sentence, he's not going to know the truth. The truth is, okay, Vlad, Fireman Sam is actually a TV show. It's a TV show. It's a British kids show. It's got a fantastic theme. Everyone loves the theme. And actually, the game is based on the TV show. And all the T-shirts that you've seen, all those novelty T-shirts and pyjamas, kids' underpants with Fireman Sam on the front. Spraying his hose right where the willy should be. I'd wear them. I would wear them. Yeah, Fireman Sam willy pants. I definitely want some of those. Yeah, so no, it's a TV show. The game is very unsuccessfully, and it was based on that, on the show. So yeah, no, those T-shirts are not based on an Amstrad CPC budget cassette. Moving on. 10, Retro Bear. He's the Retro Bear. He's the governor. He says, well, I'm sure previously he said, do more Amstrad, cover more GameCube. Oh, you're not keep more variety, Jace. Can't all be about Spectrum. Yes, a lot of you don't want too much Spectrum. He says we need more Wii on the show. More Wii on the show. Now I don't know if you've seen Retro Bear's shows, but he broadcasts from his pantry, the Retro Pantry, and it is wall-to-wall Wii. He has got a massive Wii collection. It is ridiculous. He's got more Wii games than, well, it just all seems to be Wii. I'd say if anything, you've got too much Wii there. You want to get more variety, you need to get some Amstrad stuff. Anyway, true story. This is a true, coming back to on the Wii, this is about the Wii. And this is a true story. It's a Jace's anecdote. And this is an absolutely true story. Hark back to whenever it was the Wii came out. Early 2000s, mid-2000s, wasn't it? 2005, 6, something like that. Anyway, Nintendo Wii comes out, we're all excited. Me and the kids playing it all night, the day of release, doing all the motion, playing Wii Sports and all that. Brilliant fun. Now, back then, I used to do the school run. My kids were little. I used to take my daughter to school, take her down to school, pick her up after school. You know, it's a dad thing. We did that. We did the dad stuff. It's all gone, sadly, now. Anyway, so this one day, the day after the Wii came out, I'm walking down to pick her up from school. I'm outside the school gates. It's full of mums, you know, it's all the mums, all waiting for our kids to come out. And, okay, so there she's coming out. She's got a picture in her lunchbox. All the kids coming out. My little daughter, Izzy, she comes up to me. And in a loud voice, an uncharacteristically loud voice for her, in front of all the other mums. I was the only dad. Not many dads go and pick up their kids. All the mums there, and she says, "Dad, when we get home, can I play with your Wii machine?" Oh, yes! I'm surprised I wasn't arrested immediately. It was like so funny. It was. Yes. I blame Nintendo for that. Nintendo. Yeah. Well, yeah. I know. I still. I had to explain to these mums. It's a games console. My Wii machine is a games console. They didn't know what games are. These mums, they weren't playing Wii. They're not on day release. Anyway, moving on, 11, we got someone new. This is Andrew Kaufman. Welcome to the show, Andrew. Lovely to have you on board, and I'm really, really intrigued by your comment. It is this. I grew up backwards. In the 1980s, I was from a very religious family. I was not allowed to play video games. It's the devil, they would say. Now, I collect every game I can find. hang on, he's in a cult. He's in some sort of religious cult. He's not allowed to play any video games. I mean, sure, some games are the devil's work, spawn of evil. That classic Spectrum game. But, you know, come on, Tetris isn't the work of the devil, is it? How sad is that? And then didn't it prove, if you deny a child something, they just crave it. They just crave it. They want it. You know, he's buying any game he can find now. Any game. I'm buying it, I'm playing it. Isn't that a great story? I want to know more, Andrew. When was the first game? What was the first game you played? How old were you when you first played a video game and got absolutely hooked? Wow. Was it a cult? It's probably just oppressive parents. And did you hate them? Do you hate them? Do you hate your parents? Are you religious now? Oh, I hope you'll come back and tell us more about your experiences in gaming. Andrew, thank you very much for that. It's a bit like me and my Vialto, you know, I didn't have it. You always want the things you covet. We covet the things that other people had when we were kids. And you can spend the rest of your life hunting them down. Things that your mate had, the thing that your friend brought into school that you really wanted to play all the time. And, oh, they're trying to get it back off me and I just want to play. And then that's the thing that means most to you because you did not have it at the time. It's human nature, exposed. 12 Retro Games Revived. It's our old mate Sean. Yes, all right, Sean. How you doing now? Sean followed up from something we talked about a few weeks ago, and that was Frankenstein. Do you remember the Rod Pike cassette adventure game? And he said there is 2 variations of the spelling of that game. There's an EIN and an IEN on Frankenstein. They had to repress it. And I said, well, I've never seen that. Well, he's delivered the proof. It's not on the front of the game. It's on the spine, and here's the photo. And as you can see, there are 2 variations. One misspelling on the. We have all learned something new, and we've seen the proof. Unless you're brilliant on Photoshop, that is incredible. Thank you for that, Sean. Now, Sean's got another incredible factoid for us this week. He did his work experience at school at Alternative Software. That's right. He did his work experience, 2 weeks work experience at Alternative Software, the budget label that we all love to hate. How amazing is that? He said the managing director shook his hand at the end of his 2 weeks, but didn't give him a job. Subsequently, he made a game on the shoot 'em up construction kit. If you don't know what that is, it's a program where you can make your own shoot 'em up, make your own graphics, make your own shooting game, and then save it as an individual game in its own right. And he sent that off to Alternative Software, and they didn't reply. Well, scumbags. Oh, we don't like them anymore. The game was called Blaster Balls. Maybe not a great title. Maybe a bit rude for a Spectrum budget game. But anyway, what an amazing... What did you do there, Sean? What did they have you do in Alternative Software? Were you packing games? Were you putting inlays in cases? Were you rewinding cassettes? Maybe you're gameplay or game testing. I don't know, but I'm fascinated. What an amazing work experience. Wow, I love that story. Thank you, Sean. 13, Angels Hide. Angels Hide. Or Angel Shide. This is a new person. Welcome on board, Angel Shide. I think it's a guy. And he's joined the club. He's written there because I've touched a nerve. I've touched a nerve, and he wants to put his opinion of something across, and I love it, and I'm going to read it in its full entirety. Okay, you ready for this? Thank you, Angel Shide. He says, I absolutely hate the Paper Mario games. The stories and characters are nonsensical. They're so slow, boring, and it takes ages to get moving. Even the 1,000-Year Door, which everybody raves about and that you showed, is awful to me. I have a young son who is obsessed with them. Bless him, but he's always trying to get me to play with them. He even bought me the latest one that's on the Switch for Christmas. I've been forced into playing these blasted games, and I smile and play along with him. He's a great dad. Whilst thinking inside how I'd rather be doing absolutely anything else, like cleaning the toilet. That's right. Oh shit, there's the pain in that guy. Anguish. The anguish. The love of his children. He's putting himself through that torture of having to endure those horrible Paper Mario games. I know! First party Nintendo game. The worst ever first party Nintendo game. Well, maybe. Maybe that's something we could talk about. Maybe the worst first party Nintendo game. But yeah, I'm absolutely with you, Angel Shide. Absolutely, 100%. I'm glad we're on the same page. There's a lot of people disagree with us. Anyway, moving on. 14, Andrew Harper. He loved seeing the Amstrad stuff on the show last week. He says his 2 favourite Amstrad games, and they seem to be games that came free with the Amstrad. Maybe his mum and dad wouldn't let him go to a real game shop and buy anything new. Are these. The first one is Roland on the Ropes. Let's check it out. Yeah, okay, Roland on the Ropes. It's okay. It seems like the sort of game you get free with an Amstrad. And then the other game, this was on the Spectrum as well. Oh Mummy. Check it out. One thing to say about that. Oh Mummy. Oh Mummy. Yeah, I guess they were a big influence. And you first got your Amstrad, you had those 2 games, you played them first. They were a big influence at the time, and they've stayed with you, and that's what it's all about. It's all about these memories we've got hidden down the back of the. It's all it's all stuck down the back. Get the memories back out. Fishing for memories. Oh, love it. 15, Steve Holloway, our old mate Steve. Now, he likes to watch this show on Saturdays because his young lad, one of his young lads, is 7. He's too young to stay up for Friday night. And anyway, it can be very late on a Friday when this finally goes live. Anyway, so he's sitting there last Saturday. Picture the scene. He's sitting there watching the show with his kids last Saturday morning. The mum comes in and says, "Are you watching that daft bloke that your dad watches?" I love it. Daft. Yes, not clinically insane. Daft. What a retro word. Nobody says daft anymore. Thank you very much for the compliment. I'll be daft any day. That's better than being an idiot. It's better than being some moron. Oh, that complete... What did Retro Bear call me? An eccentric. I'm not an eccentric. It's just... I've just got a lot of energy when I'm doing a show. I spend the rest of my time laying in a dark room in a coma. But anyway, I love that. Anyway, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mrs. Steve. Thank you, Mrs. Holloway. I am daft. I'm proud of it. Daft. Yeah. Yeah. They're very daft, very daft. Anyway, back to the point, So yeah, she comes through and she says, "Are you watching that daft bloke that your dad watches?" To which he replied, this is a 7-year-old boy, he replied, "I'm waiting to see Marvin." Waiting to see Marvin. Marvin, he's big with the kids. How? Why? It's because he's got eyes now, isn't it? It's because of those eyes. Kids love him. He's become a personality in his own right. Since he had the theme, I guess. He's got his theme, he's got his eyes. Good old Marvin, he'll be back soon. Steve says, I am now 3rd favourite on my own show, behind Marvin and then Gav. Marvin, Gav, and then me. Oh, I know, come on, Gav.
You can't get enough of the FIFAs!
Yes, Gav. 16, Retro Ed, he's back. I've given him a little dig last week because he hadn't commented for a while. Thank you for commenting. He says his tiny brain can't work out how the U-force works. I can't work it out. How do you fire in a force field? Seriously, what, I'm pinching? Am I pretending I'm controlling an invisible joystick and my thumb's going down for the fire? I don't know. Am I clap to fire? It's such a bizarre lump of crud. And you know, you guys would love to see how it works, but I was too lazy to actually demonstrate it. I could have put that on for you, couldn't I? It actually showed me working it. It would have been a lot more fun, but I didn't do it. Sorry. It's not laziness, just time. You want a show every week, this is what happens. Moving on, 17, Boxed In. He's gutted. He nearly won last week. I made a mistake, yes. I did see the reverse image of the Marvin numbers, and I got it wrong. I accidentally said he won and he hadn't won. But anyway, he'd prefer Commodore Plus 4 stuff anyway. He's so obsessed with Commodore Plus 4, he wouldn't have really wanted anybody else's prize. So maybe he'll win when I find something Plus 4 to give away. We'll see. 18, it's Beesball. He's in America. Now, I love this. He says, he simply must know who makes the intro music. Yeah. Me. It's me. It's me. It's me. Me. Yeah, it's me. Okay, Lost Songwriter is me. I make the music. I'm a musical person. I make music. I've made music forever, and I love the Thank You Asked. It gives me an excuse to talk about music, and also talk about. I'm making a few memes lately, trying to get some traffic, trying to get some interest, trying to build up a bit of a following, trying to get something to go viral. How do you get one single thing to get viral? I thought this is my latest one. It would be awesome if you guys could like and share it, because it all helps, you know. It's those initial, when things go live, that initial boost. If you're on TikTok and loads of people look at something straight away, then all TikTok opens it up for more people. Allegedly. I mean, sometimes it just gets to 2,500 like my last one, and then just stops, and just nobody sees it anymore. Like it stops showing it for some reason. Bizarre. But anyway, yes.
I love that jiggy Nando's, we love Nando's. Lots of jiggy for us. Nando's, we love Nando's. Lots of jiggy for us. Jiggy. Jiggy, jiggy, 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 jiggy.
Are you feeling hungry now? Are you feeling hungry? Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It would be great if you can like and subscribe to that. Thank you. But yeah, yes, you might remember in the early shows, Beesball, I did put lots of adverts. It was adverts for my last album.
Thought Blossom, the brand new album from Lost Songwriter.
I'm just a sad boy.
12 new tracks including Sun Shines Through,
Why, when I look in your eyes, does it feel like the sun shines through?
Nobody Dances,
Nobody dances. Nobody dances.
and the song stolen by Retrogames, Drone.
I think I might be a drone that's being remotely controlled. That's why my pulse is so slow.
Thought Blossom by Lost Songwriter. Available to stream from November the 1st.
I've made about 11 albums. And we're going to make a Retrogames album, aren't we? Yes, I know. We're going to do it, but yeah, lovely. And he also says, and who is the voice on the new intro? Well, she is very shy. She's very shy, but she's absolutely gorgeous. It's Blocky Julie! It's Blocky Julie doing the old voices for me on the intro. I love it. Yeah, thank you ever so much. And thanks, Julie. Thank you for all the hard work you do on the show. 19 is Richard Cooper. He's in Australia. That's all. 20, Generation Pixel. I owe him a big apology. I mucked up his comments. I get very mixed up. I didn't have my glasses, as I said. I got mixed up on the comments, and I accidentally attributed his comment to someone else. I think it was to Sean, or maybe PJ Venom, I don't know. He thinks it's PJ Venom. He says, this is what I think this offensive. He said, do you often confuse your jocks and your mix? I don't know. Isn't that offensive? Are you being offensive to PJ Venom? I will not condone that. I think it's a bit, I mean, jocks. What are we, Sassenachs, aren't we, us English to the Scots? We call us, we'll just call us knacks. Yeah, you knacks. I don't know. Anyway, no, it was not done purposely, and I don't often get people mixed up, but I did get mixed up this time. His bit was the Yennefer bit. You know, we showed Yennefer on the unicorn. That was Jen Pix telling us all about that, and I completely bucked it up. Anyway, sorry about that. yeah, he hasn't got anything much new to say, just about the Aquarius and about he loved the Aquarius. Oh, I like the Aquarius. It was one heck of a massive, that big, it's like a, what's that, a set square? It's like, it's like a set square when it's got that expansion in, isn't it? It's like, boop, boop. Yeah, you could use it to like do some technical drawing. Moving on, 21, and this is from our old mate Rusty Bucket. He says, will I give his wife a mention? Yes, hello Mrs. Rusty Bucket. If she really does watch this, I don't know, I find it hard to believe that your wife is watching it. I can't imagine anybody's wife watching this, seriously. Not enjoying it. I mean, Retroclare's into old games, but most wives are not into our clandestine hobby, are they? They just frown upon us, make us embarrassed, make us hide things as they come through the post. Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, thanks Ross. He says, this is reference to last week, he's very cross. There seems to be some massive tension building up between me and Russ. I think it started, it started a few weeks ago. He's now, last week he said about why don't I show any new games for Commodore 64, and I showed some clips, and he says I purposely made him look like a plum by showing a bad clip. And I did show a bad clip. He's absolutely right, I did do that for the laugh of it. It wasn't personal, it was just a laugh. But I did make the point. It didn't look so good, did it? Didn't look that good. Anyway, he will take me up on the challenge. This is what he said. Now, I think, okay, he says, he will take me up on my challenge and send me some new C64 games. Challenge me to get my old tech out and load it up. This is the bit. We will see. Fake gamer alert! Harsh! It's basically calling me a fake gamer. Firstly, Russ, I know you've enjoyed the show up to this point, but you do not have to watch it if I'm starting to wind you up. If watching this show, and because I've been a bit anti-emulation sometimes, if that wound you up, I don't know if that's upset you, but that is borderline hostile. I would say that's the most hostile feedback we've had. I know any swear words get blocked out by YouTube anyway. There's probably potentially a lot more hostile I didn't get to see. But I think to make it through, that is the most angry, hostile message we've had. We will see fake gamer alert. This is reference to a previous where he says, I want to see you get the computer out and see you load it up. He wants to see me loading up stuff. Now this is a can of worms, because I try and do this show as quickly as I can. I do record one day, I edit the next day. It's a job. It is a big job, but it's something I try and cram into my week so that you guys get the show at the weekend. Now, to do that, yes, I agree, I've slagged off emulation, but emulation is perfect for me to be able to film me doing gameplay and film some of the games running. And I know it makes the show's more cohesive if there is gameplay shown. And doing emulation, the speed and the ease of being able to do that makes a huge difference on whether I can edit this in 1 day or 5 days. I just simply could not get this show out once a week if it wasn't for emulation, I don't think. Now, to answer you, Russ, I brought this. Now, this is what I use when I'm filming Spectrum, me playing Spectrum. And this is the Spectrum Omni. I don't know, I'll get this on the top one. This is the Spectrum Omni. It looks like a normal Spectrum, but it's not. It's got a fantastic HD out. It's got a HDMI out, and it's got AV out, got a reset switch. You know, the Spectrum always needs a reset switch. More importantly, it's got joystick ports on the side, and here we have the wonderful 4 gig memory card there, which I can just download games off my PC, just the images on there, just plug that in, and then I can select them on the menu and the startup, and I can play them, and it saves me a hell of a lot of time. HDMI out goes straight into my FrameMeister, which I then record the footage on a memory card and then try and sync the two with me talking about it over top. So it is still quite a lot of work, but at least the loading part and at least the TV output, being able to capture it in HD, it makes it a hell of a lot easier for me. So I thought I'd just show you that and just say, yes, okay, I'm not playing on original hardware, I'm playing on a version of it. But I do take umbrage that I'm not... I'm a fake gamer alert, because I would argue my job is classic video games, and I'm primary tester of most of the consoles and computers that we list. So while I might use emulation for the show, I probably load and test more Commodores and Spectrums than anybody, because I'm testing all the time. We have, at the moment, we've got about 70 consoles and computers waiting for me to test. I tested that Aquarius last week. I played it. We have a CRT TV. I played it. I booted it up. I test all the keys. I fiddle around and get all the cables, the best cables. You know, I make sure things work. So yeah, you can call me a fake gamer, but I do, as my job, use original hardware all the time. And to be honest, I don't think you, the rest of this club, are going to begrudge me using emulation for the benefit of this show. So yeah, okay, Russ. I think, you know, obviously we've had a bit of a kerfuffle. Let's sort it out. Let's put it behind us. Let's be friends again. This is the retro fist bump of friendship. Come on. I was a bit mean. I was a bit mean with that screenshot and taking the mickey out of that game. But fake gamer alert. We'll see. Fake gamer. You've hurt me. You've hurt me. I am wounded. If that's what you intended, well done to you. But I'm on a serious note. I do have to be a bit narky and picking holes in the stuff you say, because it's just not entertaining. If I just go, oh, wonderful. Oh, incredible. Thank you. Yeah, this is a retro recipe. Trouble. Don't start. 22 is ZX Tetley. Still loving all the garden peas. He's taking the peas. I love it. Every Spectrum game we have, it seems every time when we look at it, seems to have garden peas in it. It's making me hungry. Doesn't take much. He says, let's compare TI-99 Invaders, that's his first game, that's the Texas TI-99 computer version of Invaders, to Retro Bears Atari VCS Invaders, which we looked at last week. That's his first ever game. And see which one's best. Let's check them out back to back. He's right, isn't he? The Texas TI-99 Invaders, pretty awesome. And I remember, because I think I might have said before, my cousin also had TI-99 and they had Invaders, and me and my brother used to go around there and play it and loved it. Because Space Invaders was the bomb. It was the bomb back in 1983, 1982, 1983. Space Invaders was bigger than anything you could ever think of. It was massive. Space Invaders spaghetti, you get Space Invaders spaghetti, you get Space Invaders breakfast cereal. It was massive. It was massive. Like Pac-Man. It's quickly usurped by Pac-Man. Pac-Man took over the big gaming mantle really as the game, but before that it was Space Invaders. 24, Jason Voke. Now Jason's got a great story here. His uncle found a Philips video pack in a skip. He brought it back home and it worked great. They played Frogger for days. Yeah, awesome. Skip finds. That's a whole new subject, isn't it? We should do that. What did you find in a skip that you kept? I think the days of finding games consoles in skips probably well behind us, but wouldn't it be amazing? It's kind of one of those dream scenarios. I don't know if you guys do this. I mean, if you're always on the search out for rare things, I have dreamt so many times of finding things. I'm in an old dusty shop and I say, oh, have you got any games? And they take me and there's this box and it's just full of Game & Watches, but Game & Watches I've never seen before. Like absolutely strange LCD games. And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to keep me powder dry. I'm like, oh, yeah, how much do you want for that? And he's like, oh, I don't know, give me a 10 of the box. And I go, oh, okay. And then of course you've got this amazing box with all these amazing machines you've never seen before in your life. And then you wake up and you feel like, oh, got to go to work. Yeah, it's sad. I've had that a lot. So, like, did you ever dream that you've won the lottery? Oh, God, awful dreams. Anyway, 25. 8-Bit Boy UK, he was the real winner last week from Marvin. He won the prize and he's happy with his prizes. Do you remember? There was a Mac Mech Assault game and Finders Keepers on the Commodore 64. I mean, probably the worst prizes we've given so far. Number 26, someone new. It is CJ Healy, and all these guys, a special message for me. He says, you got to do the show, man. Keep it up. I always watch your channel. Thank you, CJ Healy. You're on my Christmas list. It's a very short list. It's just you on there. I'm going to come and visit you on Christmas Day. We've got to the end. We've got to the end. Now, I was thinking, I need to pose something. So when you're responding, you've got something to say. You're not just calling me a fake gamer or just dealing out, dissing me or slagging off something I did wrong on the show Gen Pix. We need to have a theme that we all say. So I'm going to do this one. If you want to comment next week, let's say, what's the best thing in your collection? What is your pride and joy? What is the one thing that, if you had to sell your collection, because you've run out of money, the bailiffs are coming, and you've got all your collection, you're going to sell it all, what's the last thing you would sell? What's that most important thing? What's the thing in the presentation area, in the centre of your collection, in that little glass door? Yeah, you know, that really special thing, that thing that means the most. I'm imagining maybe some signed things. Might be this, or maybe just the console. If you've got the original machines you had as a kid, that'd be pretty special, wouldn't it? I certainly have not got the Spectrum I had as a kid. Long gone, broken, I think. Yeah, we had lots of faulty computers. But anyway, yes, if there's a major thing in your collection that you would think, yes, that's the thing, drop us a line. We'll talk about it next week. You can send me a photo. Send me a photo at sales@retrogames.co, and we will put the picture up of your favourite thing. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? I think we'd all really enjoy seeing it, especially because we all know each other now. We know the names, the same names every week. Let's start finding out about our collections, our combined collections. That would be exciting. Now, let's talk about
competition time.
Competition time! What is the prize? Can it be worse than last week? Well, I've got 3 things for the prize. 3, trying to make up for last week. First thing is your Sinclair magazine. Your Sinclair Classic Spectrum magazine. Let's do the opener page, see if there's a good one. Oh my god, I've picked another black and white only page. Computer repairs and spares, a romantic robot, practical pokes. Practical pokes, that's off the time. And there's a bit of an Ed the Duck there. Ed the Duck. We all need a little help now and then. And little green ducks need even more. Type in, this is the game Ed the Duck. Type in Wilson as soon as you start level 3 for a helping hand. Wasn't it weird? They made some really weird tips. Here's a tip, look, on this same page. It's a tip for fruit machine. Has it ever got up your nose when you have the chance to win money on the flashing squares bit and you've lost the lot? Well, fret no more. Just press 0 key when the light is flashing between the 2 squares and you'll automatically collect half of the money that's up for grabs. I think if you've got to use cheats on a fruit machine game, it's a random game anyway. That seems really... I'm going to cheat at this fruit machine. There's no prizes, no money to win, but I'm going to cheat and see if I can get extra money. I don't know, that seems weird. A bit weird. And also a game, this is Labyrinth by Axis. This is a really early ZX Spectrum game. It's got that homemade vibe. Look at that cassette, 1982, really old. Yeah, just a really rare game. And why is it in? Because someone's drawn the number 18 on the bottom of the inlay. So it's a prize. It's a prize. I can't be bothered. It's going in the prize. And what's the thing? What about something new? What about this? The third thing, it's one of our, we've had these for a while, QuickShot 7, the rare QuickShot 7 joypad controller, compatible with all Atari style console. This might actually be useful if you break the seal, because it is new and sealed. I'll just show you. A lot of you guys would have bought these off of us. We have had them for a while. Not many left now though, not many left. And so time to start giving them away. Or just buy one off the site, no problem. That is this week's prizes. It only remains for me to get my sturdy friend. Cue the jingle.
My name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. Remember my name. 'Cause my name is Marvin. My name is Marvin. And numbers are my game.
Yes, numbers are his game. And I don't need to fiddle with this because it's already set on 26, because it was 26 last week and it's 26 this week. Let's hope I can read the number. We've got E. Is it because Ed's back in this week? As soon as Ed's in. It's my 2 sheets. Got 2 sheets today. 2 sheets. Come on. Let's get ready. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go Marvin. was quick. That was quick. It is 21. It actually looks like 15 in the camera, but it's 21. Who is number 21? Well, this is amazing. This has got to grease the wheels. It's Russ. Russ has won. See, Russ, come on. The fake gamer has won your prize. You've got all that stuff coming to you. Well done to you. People are going to say that's a fix. And we had a bit of needle in the chat, and then he won the prize. But it wasn't, because Marvin never cheats. He never cheats. Thank you for that, Marvin. Bye, Marvin. Bye, Marvin. Bye. We know what comes after this bit of the show, don't we?
What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games, please. What's new? Retro games. Can you tell me what's new? Retro games this week.
Yes! Yeah, what's new this week at Retro Games? And it's been a strange week because we're listing something different. We have made some slight alterations to one of the categories on the site. Eagle-eyed ones of you will notice suddenly we've changed handheld to handheld and toys, and that's because last year we bought a toy and game collection. We've just unearthed it in the warehouse. Finally going to list some of that stuff this week, and it's got me excited by something unelectronic, not video games, but board games. Now, we're going to list classic board games, and I have chosen a lot of them to show you today on the show. And you're thinking, but I like video games, computer games. Yes, okay. We're Retro Games, and technically a board game is a game, and we're only doing old ones, so it is retro. It is a retro game, isn't it? But we all grew up with board games, didn't we? That was what we had. You know, we had computer games, but we also had board games. And anyway, some of these games are video game related, which is a bit special. So, without further ado, I'm hoping that this will trigger some of that, you know, that memory thing, you know, that little feeling, that tingle, when I show you something you've forgotten all about. Well, I think there's a lot of chances for some of that action in this show from this stuff. So, I'm not going to say much. I'm just going to show them, really. Talk about memories, because I'm not going to play them. I can't show you footage of me playing a board game. That would be silly. That would be silly. And we do try and avoid being silly. Do we? No, we don't. Anyway, the first board game is Waddington's The Game of Dracula. Yes, The Game of Dracula. This has got a year. This is 1977. That makes me very young when this came out, but I do remember it. I do remember the adverts for it. Let's get it on the top screen. There you go. It's a beautiful thing. It's a fiendishly exciting escape game for 2 to 4 players. I'll lift the lid and let you have a look at the contents. We'll have a look at the contents of what we can. Oh, we've got the board. I don't think I've ever played this game, but I do remember it. It's one of those games people bring into school. I think it's an escape from Dracula's castle. And here we go. Oh, it comes with a mask. I mean, look at that. Now that. Come on, Jace. What do you think? Yeah, hey. Am I coming up the ranking? Am I getting past Gav? And there's a little some sort of monster shape. I'm guessing that's part of the game. You've got the manual. You've got some ears. I don't know what this stuff is. And then you've got the little figures. You've got Dracula there. There's Dracula with his fangs and some bats. And some place markers. But anyway, yeah, that is the first game. It's called The Game of Dracula. And you're thinking, I'm watching a video game show. What are you showing me this for? It's not stopping there. I have got the box. The box is coming. We are going to get back to video games. I'll try and whiz through this stuff. I just thought it's so interesting to me. And I like to think if it's interesting to me, it'd be interesting to you. But if it's not, sorry. This game is called Star Strike. Very old one, this one. Star Strike, I think it's early 1970s. What do I want? Star Strike. See, I'm infected by video games. Sea Strike, the game of modern naval warfare. And as you can see in the box there, it's got cards, it's got a pencil, some sort of measuring device, big manual, sheets. It's just unpopped. Look, these are all unpopped. This has not been used. Incredible, really. to think it's so old and not been used. Oh, it's 1977. 77. Is that the same year? I think so. That's the same year that Elvis died. This came out. Sea Strike. That was a quick one, wasn't it? Quick one. See, I'll rattle through them. Just see if we can trigger some of that memories. Now, this is a lovely, lovely video game related game. You're going to love this. Defender, the original MB Defender. And as yes, you can tell by the shine, it is sealed. That is brand new and sealed Defender. Let's get it on the big screen. I mean, it is ridiculous to think of Defender as a board game. I'll give you that. But it is so retro, isn't it? I mean, it's such a beautiful thing, the design of it. Just one big smart bob and the whole game's over. There's a bit of tear in the seal, but that has been sealed since, well, it's got to be about 1983, 1984 tops, isn't it? The cover was 1980. Surely this was made after. That is incredibly old and rare. And what a lovely thing, Defender. British release MB game. And here, another one. Centipede, the board game. Again, sealed. It's got the original price sticker on there. Yeah, amazing. And you can see it's in the shape of a centipede, but what relevance it's got to the trackball rolling arcade machine, I don't know. But what a beautiful thing. Just a piece of history. Again, early 80s, very early 80s releases. Now, something different, not game related. Dino Bones, the board game. Who remembers this one? This is from 1987. Another great year for games. We've got a board here, Dino Bones. Oh, look again, absolute. This is from a proper collector of board games. So this is unpopped. These bone parts pop out for the game. Look, unpopped game pieces. Amazing. The instructions written in cardboard, actually in the box. Let's just have a look at the board. There's the board. I mean, you know what game boards look like. That's in the show. I guess you earn the pieces of the dinosaur, and once the dinosaur's done, you get it. I like it. It's original, isn't it? It's got a dice in there. It's got a stand. Yeah, Dino Bones. Includes a wooden puzzle with 14 bone pieces that create a dinosaur skeleton. It's made by Random House, aren't they publishers? Brilliant. Okay, moving. It's quick. What about this? Classic film license. Home Alone 2. Yeah, Home Alone 2, the game. Yeah, okay. It's a bit newer. 1992 now. But you know, that's still 20, 30, isn't it? 30 odd years old. Look, it's still got all these plastic bags with all the bits in and the cards. Quick look at the board. It's got the manual. Quick look at the board. Oh, look, that's proper. It's like a card game, I think, with all the stars of the film Home Alone 2. I know what you're thinking. Well, where is this board game section on the site? We've changed handheld to handheld and toys, and there is a dedicated board game section now in the handheld and toys section. And I'm hoping that this doesn't give me a flux of everybody just trying to get rid of their board games and swap them for video games. But we will take your board games, but they've got to be old, classic, and in lovely condition like these are. This is a classic from my childhood. People used to bring this into school. That's Hangman. Hangman, Vincent Price used to do the TV advert. I mean, Hangman you can play with a pen and paper, but they made this board game of it. Just so you spin a little thing. They don't do Hangman anymore. Apparently Hangman's not very PC. Yeah, do you remember this? You spin the thing, don't you? You spin it and then, how does this open? What am I doing? Where am I? Oh, there we go. This opens, and then you would turn the wheel according to, I can do it on the screen. Turn the wheel and all the different, I don't want to tip it out. All the different stages of the hangman would be on there, and you show the other person how hanged they were. Yeah, I mean, a lot easier to use pen and paper. I'll give you that. That is Hangman. Okay, moving on. Now this is one for all you people of a certain age, and that is this Transformers, the board game. Now Transformers, this is pre the movies. This is like when Transformers was a proper toy. It's made by Warren. Unusual. let's have a look. So we've got a big board there, big board, a little bit bent, just where it's been stored in its box forever. We've got the board, we've got the pieces, we've got some little tokens. I mean, it's probably not that great. It's a cash-in, isn't it? It's a cash-in. Oh, there it is. There is some more stuff under there. There's the instructions, the manual, dice, little Optimus Prime standees. It is, you know, it is very rare for these games to be complete, so it's just nice to have. And, you know, it looks good, doesn't it? Transformers. Transformers. Yeah, what's next, Jace? Now this game I do not remember at all. It's like a gold bar though. It's called Billionaire the Game. I think it's a strategy game. It seems to be Australian. As you can see, it's like a gold bar. Isn't it nice? Just like it. 3 to 8 players. A game for the whole family. Rules included the pack. This is from 1984. 1984, but yeah, special because it is still sealed. And how many of them are left? What about this? Kick off in it. Yeah, Kick Off. The board game. It's not actually based on the Anko game, but it is a football game that I no doubt some of you guys will have had. It looks really cheesy. Looks really cheesy. There's the pitch. There's the pitch there. You've got the ball. You've got some cards. Some cards giving you the moves. 2 players. Got the manual. Got everything. It's lovely condition. It's just a very beautiful retro football game. 2 to 4 players. What year is this? Let me find a year. I like to know how old these are. 1981. 1981. Wow. That's proper. I mean, I was a kid then. I was a proper kid. Oh, I miss being a kid. Okay, something for all you Thomas fans. Yeah, Thomas the Tank Engine. Before he was on TV, when it was just those, what, Reverend Audrey, isn't it? He wrote the books. And they were still, before the show, they were still big hits. I remember, was it Johnny, you know, Johnny from Animal Magic? He used to read on records, he used to read the stories. Johnny Morris used to read the stories of Thomas the Tank Engine. That's a childhood memory just come back to me.
The other engines laughed. You are too impatient, Thomas.
Anyway, beautiful condition. Let's get it on the camera. Look at this. It's Thomas the Tank Engine Lotto. And let's have a look. And look, steel sealed. That is completely original, sealed. Beautiful thing. What a lovely game. Have we got a year on this one? No, can't find a year. It's probably on the manual, but I can't get the manual out. So I'm thinking again, early 80s. I would say 81, 82. Cue the music. Yes, the Red Book, This Is Your Life, the board game. Yes, now This Is Your Life was a program where Michael Aspel or someone else before that, I can't remember, Eamon Holmes used to come out with a big red book and then surprise a celebrity and talk about their life. And they even made a board game of that. TV related, but yeah, and it's like a big red book. As you can see, it's like the big red book. Let's open it up. Oh, there we go. We've got a spinner, we've got some dice pieces, we've got the manual. This is your life. I mean, it's crazy, crazy that they made board games of everything. This is a proper, this is a proper Thames Television licensed board game. Okay, what's next? Oh, another TV related. Thunderbirds again from the old days. So this is based on the old Thunderbirds 1960s show, which we all watched when we were kids. Joe 90 and Thunderbirds and Lady Penelope and all that. 2 to 4 players. What year? Let's see if we can get a year on the side of this one. Oh, this is 1992, so it's not actually that old. I say not that old. Okay, it's quite old. It's 30 years old, but you know. And look, it's got all the pieces. Isn't that beautiful? It's got all the little ships. Look at that. That is very nice. Very nice. Got the manuals and the missions thing and some tokens and yeah, nice. 5, 4, 3. I can't do Thunderbirds. I'll go. All right, go over it. Now this next one. This plays to my heartstrings. It's one of my all-time favourite shows from being a kid. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, Ted Rogers. 3, 2, 1.
Thank you. Glad you could all join us once again, ladies and gentlemen, for another session of your favourite Saturday game show, 3, 2, 1.
The board game. It is sealed, though the seal, as you can see, has got a bit ragged. But let's show that. Look, there's Ted. There is Ted Rogers. 3, 2, 1. The board game. Oh my goodness, isn't that incredible? You've got your dusty bin.
And right now we've got somebody to introduce you to, a little character. He's our booby prize, a bin called Dusty, looked after by a girl called Karen. Karen Palmer. Here they are. How are you, love? Okay.
You can win a personal stereo, your washing machine, camera, BMX, of course. A couple of people having a great time at the seaside. 3, 2, 1. A game for 3 to 5 players, ages 8 to adult. The exciting family version parlour game of TV's popular quiz show. I really don't know why this is going on the site and not into my collection, because it's the nicest thing. It's the first thing I've wanted to keep for ages. It's from 1985. 1985. 3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1.
3, 2, 1. Thanks, Ted. I miss him. I miss Ted Rogers. Oh. Now this next thing, this is a toy. It's not actually a game. This is an unusual model kit. It's called Matador. We think it's Dutch. It's like their version of Meccano, but it's very groovy. It's got some little people in it, but you won't get the full effect until I open the lid, because it's pretty impressive under there. That's why I picked it. I was thinking, oh, I'm going to show that on the show. Yeah, no, it's made in Austria. It's Austrian. But look at it. Look at that manual. Look at this kid's hair. It's like, and look at that. Look at that set. A proper metal spanner. Yeah, not mucking around. You could. They would never put that in a kid's toy now, would they? That is seriously a weapon. You could take that to school and whack people over the head with it, and they would be seriously injured. Got some little people. They're wooden. They're wooden. Oh, it's a lovely thing. Beautiful condition. I just thought, well, we need to do something with that. We'll put it on the site. Give people a chance to have a look at it. I don't know if we'll ever sell that. It's so out of our remit. But who knows? Now, this isn't so out of our remit. This is another video game related board game. Yes, there's only 2 more. 2 more. Thanks for it. Thanks for putting up with this, because I know it's not what we normally do. But what about this? Blueprint the game. Yes, the CBS Blueprint. It's an Atari VCS game. Also came out on Coleco, possibly Atari 800. 5200 I think it came out on. Maybe others, Apple, maybe, I don't know. Blueprint the game. Let me get that on the screen. And yes, it is sealed. It is sealed. Can you believe this? This must be the only sealed copy of this game left in the world. Surely, surely. I have very hard to price this stuff. This is from 1983. It's got a picture of the coin op. So it was a Blueprint coin op, do you think? No, I don't think so. Surely not a Blueprint coin op. I've never seen it. It's an ideal label, specially made for video game related board games, called Flip Arcade Games. Flip Arcade. Yeah, 2-player tabletop arcade action from Ideal. That is a lot. I remember Blueprint. Let's put Blueprint up. I think this artwork is actually better than the artwork on the real game. Anyway, one more, and it's another one in that series, and it's sealed again. Do you remember the Parker game Tutankhamun? Yeah, the game also for Atari. Can you believe it? It's Parker, isn't it? It's a Parker game. But yeah, beautiful. Again on Ideal. Let's get it on the big screen. Yeah, as you can see, sealed. There's a bit of a show of the board. I can't get this out to show you because it is sealed. The last sealed one in the world, do you reckon? Maybe. 1983. This 1982. No, it's Konami. It's a Konami licensed game. It came out on the Parker label on the Atari VCS. It came out for lots of things. Came out for Intellivision. Came out for Coleco. Tutankhamun. Maybe even Atari 800. Maybe even VIC-20. I'm thinking. But anyway, yes, you can play the board game version. It's such a vintage. I think you're going to forgive me for showing board games when I'm showing amazing game-related board games like this. Okay, I know what you're thinking. What's in the box? Yes, what's in the box? Okay. First thing in the box. We're back to the games now. Back to proper stuff now. Now this is an unusual thing. It's for the BBC Micro, and it's not the sort of thing I usually talk about. It is a, what do they call it? A Beeb Micro MMC. And basically it connects to your disk drive. It connects to your disk drive with a standard disk drive connection ribbon cable. And it gives you an SD card slot for you to use all downloaded games, downloaded software just on SD. I just think it's a nice thing. It comes with a CD-ROM disc to some backup stuff and some help. It's very technical, not kind of my bag, but you know, a lot of people, if you're a proper BBC hobbyist, that's got to be nice to be able to just dump stuff on memory card and just transfer stuff between your computer and the BBC. Okay, what else is in the box? Okay, let's go. What about a GameCube game? And I picked this. It's a game that everyone knows, and I keep saying about it. I think Generation Pixel was saying, oh, yeah, Twilight Princess, don't diss that. Twilight Princess was a good game, but it was nowhere near as good as Wind Waker. I'm sorry. We're not going to fight about this and Mario, Paper Mario, are we? Come on, we can't. But anyway, I picked this. It just, we don't get many really nice examples of the special edition of Wind Waker for GameCube. This is a UK one. It is beautiful. You know, you get the gouges in the case. You guys are all familiar with gouges where people have just, I don't know, picked a label off badly, dug their nail in, and just scored the case. We're seeing a lot more of that, especially on PS2. And again, absolutely mint manual. And I love the flap up gold box. It's just a beautiful example of such a classic game, and it's a true 10 out of 10. I don't know if we're going to catch that, but it's a true 10 out of 10 discs situation. It is as good as new. It's not sealed, but it is as good as new, and one of the greatest games on the GameCube. I'm sticking by that. Zelda Wind Waker to start us off. So we've got a console. Well, let's carry on with console. This week we had a bit of 3D. Oh, yes, we don't get so much 3DO anymore. What about this Soccer Kid for the 3DO? Soccer Kid. It came out for lots of formats. Came out for Amiga, came out for consoles, came out for Mega Drive. Yeah, it's one of those games. It came out, didn't it come out for CD? No, Amstrad GX 4000? I don't know, possibly. But yeah, CD32 it definitely came out. 3DO version, yeah, very nice. Just in a simple case. A lot of these guys, 3DO games rarely had the big outer boxes. You have those long USA style long boxes, but most of them just in regular CD cases like that. And to be honest, it's nice because you can replace them if they get damaged. And we all understand CD cases. They're just easy to replace. That's the key. Something else for the 3DO. And what about this one? This is Slayer. Slayer has nothing to do with a metal band. It's a Advanced Dungeons and Dragons role-playing game. Let's check it out. Yeah, so here's Slayer again. Yeah, in the standard double case. We all like double case, and it's got two manuals. This has a black and white manual, a part 2 to the manual. Like the manual was so thick. The manual was so thick for this game they couldn't fit it in, so they split it in half, made 2 manuals, one black and white, one colour. It's strange, isn't it? Strange the decisions that they made. But yeah, anyway, Slayer, quite rare for 3DO. Most 3DO games are getting pretty rare. 3DO, tick. Let's go PlayStation. Yeah, what about this? Now, you think, Jace, you're getting very normal stuff out. Now, this is PlayStation Ridge Racer Type 4. It was very highly rated, very good. I think it coincided with the Jog-Con. That's the steering controller thing. Yeah, which was made to steer, like an actual analog steering on a controller. Very unlike any other controller that's ever been made, but lovely. So it was quite exciting when this game came out, because it was bundled with the Joy-Con a lot of the time. It also available on its own, obviously. And to be honest, it's easier to play with a normal controller than it is the Joy-Con. But we don't like to say that. But it also came packaged with the R-Type high-res demo, and it was a version of the original R-Type, but zoomed up, like spec'd up with a better resolution. And this has it, but this has it, I don't remember ever seeing this before. Usually the second disc sits in that side of the case, but in this example it has its own sleeve. Now, is this just me, or is this super rare? A Ridge Racer high spec demo in its own bespoke card envelope sleeve. I honestly don't think I've ever seen, and there's not many things that come in I've never seen before. A Blueprint, the board game, yeah, I hadn't seen that. But Ridge Racer with a card slip, it's a small detail. It's got an extra sleeve in it, but it's interesting, isn't it? It's exciting. Yeah. So obviously the game apart from that, it's just the normal manual and disc underneath. So yeah, Ridge Racer Type 4. Let's carry on. What's in the box next? I keep saying that a lot today, aren't I?
What's in the box?
We've got, what did we get? Oh, an Amstrad game, yeah, because you all want to see my Amstrad. Well, it just happened this week. We got Way of the Exploding Fist for the Amstrad, and we covered this so many times. We covered it on Commodore 64, we covered it on Spectrum. I thought we didn't cover the Amstrad one. Let's just check it out, see how it compares. Nice clam case. Got this purple top on Amstrad releases. It's nice. Wouldn't it be good if you got the colours, haven't you? Colours. Sometimes they muck it about, but basically Spectrum is yellow flashes and tags. Commodore is red. Amstrad is generally orangey brown. But no, not for Melbourne House. They're making it purple. And there you go. There's the thing. The instructions are actually on the back of the inlay for that one. But yeah, nice to have Exploding Fist in the clan. That's the original issue for the Amstrad. I'd always like, when I get Way of the Exploding Fist, I like to read this little quote that's on the back of the box. It's pretty hard to beat me, but the Way of the Exploding Fist gave me the hardest fight yet. That's Jeffrey Thompson, World Karate Champion. Hardest fight yet of his career. Was playing. What do we call this? Okay, let's carry on. Now, we did have some 16-bit discs this week. And I'm just going to show you these because they're just a bit unusual. We managed to procure, a supply of brand new 3.5-inch discs for Amigas and Atari STs. Not HD ones that you use on a PC, but the original low density discs that the Amiga and possibly the Archimedes as well, the original 5.25-inch discs, 3.25-inch discs, no, 3.5, jeez, my numbers are getting mixed up, 3.5-inch discs, I did know that, in bundles. We got a few bundles of these, 50 brand new unused discs for your 16-bit. There was a time, maybe 10 years ago, when everyone was hassling me, have you got any blank discs, got any blank discs, got any blank discs? I guess with emulations pushed on a bit, maybe people don't want to put stuff on the original discs so much anymore. But if you do, now's the time. I don't imagine they'll be around for long, these batches of 50. We've got about 500-600 of them, and we sell them in batches of 50. But I don't think they'll be here that long. I did say last week, do you remember the box of Game Gears? I said that won't be here long. It was here for one day after the show, and it went. So I was right. You know, I can sense what might go. Carrying on. Yes, now I've got this. Yeah, 3. I'm greedy. Should have done this at Easter. 3 Chucky eggs came in this week. 3 different formats. And I thought, well, that's got to be worth showing back to back. So first off, Chucky Egg for Atari 800. Check it out. Don't forget, MSX Chucky Egg. Don't forget Acorn Electron Chucky Egg. It's a toss-up between the MSX and the Atari. I think it's the Atari had it, didn't it? The Atari had it. Are they better than the Spectrum version? We don't want to admit that. What else is in my box? Well, I've got something different in here. Something else different. And that is a toy. A retro toy, and it's something that those of us of a certain age remember. It's this. It's the Peter Pan's chocolate machine. Yes! Everybody wanted one of these for Christmas. This is original packaged chocolate machine. Yes, little Cadbury's bar of chocolates. At the bottom, you put 2p in and they would come out, and you could get refills of the chocolate for these in Woolworths. I remember begging my mum, please. I mean, the 2p didn't cover the cost of one of those bars. I think it was borderline. But at the time, they made those little bars in Cadbury's Roses, so every Christmas you could stock up. You could nick all the roses out of the Christmas sweet tin, and you could fill up your machine ready for another year. Except you could just put the 2p in, open the back up, take the 2p out, put it back in again. It really was very bad. I'll get it out. We craved this. You know, we'd be drooling over the Argos catalogue for one of these. Your little brother and your little sister had one if you didn't have one yourself. And it really was. I mean, now you'd get this in a pound shop. It's so... you know, it's just of the time. They don't make stuff like this. Well, they do in the pound shop. It's tight in the box. Why is it so tight in the box? I want to get it out. Get it out! Without breaking it. It's coming. Here it is. That's what we fantasised about. Yeah, look at that. It is just a lump of plastic. Little windows. It's got some little windows. It's absolutely new condition, brand new. Very old. It's a lump of plastic. I mean, you call this... I mean, I don't know why, but kids want their own vending machines. It's just one of those weird things about being a kid. Oh, I'd like my own vending machine, yeah. I want my own fish and chip shop, post office. You know, I guess we all wanted that sort of thing. Is there a year on it? Is there a year? No. It just... says about the yes, 1982 is an original from 1982. I was not a teenager yet when this came out. This is classic. Just another trigger in the memories today. What's left in the box? Well, I have to end it on the Spectrum. Yeah, Spectrum. Just a few this week. We've got Fairlight 1 and 2 in this week. We don't often get them both in the same week. This is very nice. Bo Jangeborg, right? He made The Artist. Do you remember he made the art program, The Artist? But he's also very famous for making these two legendary role-playing games, early arcade adventure games, really, for the Spectrum. Let's check them out. There we've got a separate manual there, separate manual on Fairlight 1, and we'll open up Fairlight 2. Fairlight 2, a little bit of creasing on the back there, but again, separate manual. Beautiful manual there for Fairlight 2. And one of those games that's quite annoying because it doesn't look like it's called Fairlight 2. Do you know what I mean? I've always thought that. I mean, you guys don't have to deal with this as much as me, but that looks like a game called Fairlight. It doesn't look like Fairlight 2. If you actually look in the tiny writing at the top, it says Chronicles of the Land of Fairlight 2. Trails of Darkness. I mean, that is not blatant, but on the spine it does say Fairlight 2. So to give it its due, that is fair enough. Really, it's fair enough. But yeah, Fairlight 1 and Fairlight 2. What's next in the box? What about this? Nosferatu by Piranha. Yes, another isometric game like Batman, Alien 8, all that, but this time you've got Dracula involved. But it's a very sought after game. I think people like anything that's Nosferatu related. It's such an ancient film, isn't it, from like 1920s? I mean, it's a very cheap license, really, isn't it? A black and white film. It has been licensed, they haven't done it for free. But yeah, Nosferatu, the vampire. Overrated, I say an overrated isometric game, but very hard to find. What's next in the box? What about this? Glass. Is this a Paul Hargreaves game? I think someone Hargreaves. Anyway, yes, Glass. This was one of those games that it kind of took people by surprise. It's so colourful. I'll show you the screenshot. Let's just check it out. Running. Yes, Glass. It is a ground level alien strike simulator. Didn't you know anything? Don't you know anything? Let's open the case. I think it hasn't got a separate manual. It doesn't have a separate manual. It just has that. The instructions are on the back of the inlay. I think same guy. What did he do? It's a mess. Quicksilver became an Argus Press label, part of the label of a bigger publishing company. They bought up loads. They bought up Bug Bite. They kind of like went on a shopping spree and just bought up loads of original British companies, and then sporadically just used different brands on different games. Mind Games is one of theirs, and yeah, it's a shame because it doesn't feel like a Quicksilver game, does it? It doesn't. But it is. It is. Finally, what's the last thing in the box? The last thing in this week's box is another Spectrum game. It's a rare one. It is 2112 AD. I'll be making this show when this becomes current. By Design. It's a very rare game. Let's check it out. And as you can see, it's a very unusual case design. It's the paper sleeve. It's got like a very rare game. It's probably the rarest of all Design games. Design, originally Crystal. They changed their name to Design. What a stupid name. Design. 212AD. And they've got the manual in one side. I mean, it's a stupid case idea. Manual in one side, tape in the other. From 1985. It's a lovely thing though. It's a lovely game. It's unusual to find it in very nice condition like this, with the paper still so nice and intact. And that is a wonderful game to end the show on. Thank you for watching. If you didn't like the board game, sorry, there might be some more next week. just to warn you. But until then, happy retro gaming, retro gamers!
Retrogames says thank you for watching. Retrogames says thank you for watching.
Fake gamer alert. Fake gamer. The fake gamer. Oh yeah, Jace, the fake gamer.